welcome back to Audiobooks. So as you can see from the title, today I'm going to be talking about the problem with audiobooks. So first of all, as a disclaimer, I just want to say that I absolutely love audiobooks. I think that they are a fantastic way of experiencing a story without actually having a physical copy of the book. I think that they are especially good for really big books. Especially high fantasy books, which tend to be 600 pages plus, which personally for me is a little bit intimidating. So I think the audiobooks are perfect for that. And also, obviously, the obvious thing with audiobooks is that you can listen to them on the go. So this video is not at all slamming audiobooks and saying that I don't think they're good, because I love them. Having said all that, however, there are a few problems that I personally have with audiobooks. So let's just dive into the video. So I've got written down here 3 main reasons why I personally have some problems with audiobooks. So I'll just go through them one by one, and please feel free to comment down below. I would love to open a discussion about this and hear your thoughts on it. So number 1, this isn't really actually anything wrong with audiobooks. It's more a problem that I have, and that is falling asleep. Every time I listen to an audiobook, I always fall asleep, and it's really weird because even if I've had a really good night's sleep and I feel rested, I put on my audiobook, and to be fair, I do usually listen to them in bed or on the sofa where it is obviously going to be comfortable, but I always end up falling asleep. This is really frustrating because I wake up and then it's on chapter 5. And I remember it being on chapter 3, so then I have to quickly rewind and find the place where I was at, and this can be really annoying. So the app that I use is Audible, and Audible does have a feature, like I'm sure a lot of the other apps have, where you have a sleep timer. And I personally don't use a sleep timer because I don't ever intend to fall asleep. I put on my audiobook because I want to listen to my audiobook, but for some reason, I always end up falling asleep, so I think I'm going to have to start using the sleep timer. So yeah, the first one isn't really an issue with audiobooks, it's more sort of my problem. The second problem that I have with audiobooks is narration. The worst thing for me is having an audiobook with a really irritating narrator. I have experienced this a couple of times. I'm not going to mention the audiobooks, but the narrator has been really whiny and annoying, and that can kind of take away from the enjoyment of the audiobook. I think that it's because when we sit down and we have a physical copy of a book, obviously we're reading in our head so we can hear our voice. And obviously when you're sitting down and listening to an audiobook, it's not us, it's someone else telling the story to us. So it's a really important thing that the person telling the story to you is telling it well. Most audiobooks have really good narrators, but there have been a couple that have been a little bit annoying, and it does take longer to get into that audiobook. So yeah, for number 2, I would definitely say the narration. And finally, the third thing that I have a problem with personally is something that I know that I'm guilty of myself, and some booktubers do it and others don't, but it's when booktubers talk about their experience of audiobooks as reading. I don't know why we have to say that we've read a book if we've clearly listened to it on audio. It's almost as if like we're afraid to say that we've listened to an audiobook, like it means that it's not as good as reading a book. But there have been videos that I have watched where a booktuber will say, oh, I've read 9 books this month, and then you find out later on that 5 of them have been audiobooks, which is absolutely fine. But I would much rather say, or have the booktuber say, I've read these and I've listened to these. This is definitely something that I personally will work on myself, because I think that I am also guilty of doing this, and I am going to make sure that in the future, if I've listened to an audiobook, I'm just going to say, this is the book that I've listened to and this is the book that I've read. So those are my main problems with audiobooks. As I said, I do absolutely love audiobooks. I'm listening to Nevermore at the moment on audiobook and really enjoying it. And I will continue to listen to audiobooks because I really do think that they are a fantastic way, like I said, of experiencing the story without actually having a physical copy. I do also think sometimes they can help save money. I personally, like I said, am subscribed to Audible, which is a really fantastic app. And when you sign up, you get one free book. So if you want to start listening to audiobooks, but you're not sure which app to go with, I would highly recommend Audible because it's really good. And they have a really large selection of books. So that is it for today's video. Please, like I said, feel free to comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!